Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be looking at the Parkside 13-in-1 multi-tool from Lidl. If you follow the channel, you know I'm quite a big fan of things like this, and we do have quite a few different ones at home. We have things like a Gerber, Leatherman, Byberry, that kind of thing, and I've done the reviews on some of them on the channel as well. So we do have something to compare this to. So when I went to Lidl and I've seen this was only £4.99. I'm like, okay, how bad or how good could it be? Because technically, all the experience tells me that not everything that is very expensive is worth the money, and not everything cheap is really that bad. So, without further ado, let's get this open and have a closer look. So guys, there we are, right, straight out of the packet, okay? So this is what it looks like. It does come with a little pouch, nothing specific, but what you expect for £4.99. So nonetheless, so there we are. They are a little bit greasy, there's quite a bit of oil in there, so it's all kind of feel like it's caked a little bit, but I kind of like the idea that it's got a little bit of texture to the handle, because majority of the brands that we have generally are just kind of polished and shiny, which is okay in some way, but somewhat in this instance, if it's a bit greasy, it might be slipping in your hand a little bit. Nonetheless, the texture, I think, would be probably a positive. So look in there, okay, this is 13-in-1. So we've got our usual pliers, and you've got the wire cutters. Okay, it's kind of basic. The good point is that it is sprung loaded, so you don't have to worry about doing this manually. But the only thing I don't like is the exposed spring. Okay, because we know generally in things like this, if you do put a little bit of effort, the spring can come out. But if you compare this to, say, the fairly budget Byberry, it doesn't have any springs in there, so you have to manually be doing this, which is a little bit of inconvenience. But again, it all depends what you want this for. And for the convenience, especially for me, say as a woman, I kind of like the idea of it to be sort of sprung loaded. But again, it's one of those things that you have to make sort of a choice on. So let's just fold this in, right? It is a little bit stiff, but it is straight out of the packet. So, right. So that's what that looks like now. It's a little bit wonky, I would say. A little bit. But nonetheless, your usual here, you've got the inch measurements and you've got the centimeter measurements there. Okay, this is what that looks like other way. So if we get this opened up now, and I show you what's on the other sides. So, right, we've got our tools there. So unfortunately here, we have a little button to press to release. So if you just want to get your screwdriver out or knife, it just won't come out. None of them will come out. So you have to press the button and then release your things, which is, I know I appreciate the safety with a knife maybe, but it is very awkward. It's very awkward to have to doing this because it's not kind of an easy press, but you know. So there we are. You can see that better. So we have here a saw. Okay, that feels quite sharp. Okay. Then we have our screwdriver. Again, nothing specific. Just kind of cheap, budgety metal, like a mini knife. I do not see much ability to cut with that, if you can see there. It's a very small blade. I don't really think is actually sharp. But nonetheless, they do say it's a knife. Then you got yourself a bottle opener here. Okay, so, which is handy because, to be fair, some expensive ones we have don't actually have a bottle opener, which technically they really ought to. So let's get that folded in. And the last one, you have to press the button. So on the other side, the same story, unfortunately, you have to press it to get them out. Okay, and file. So there we are. So this is your options here. So we have a knife. Okay. Again, doesn't feel particularly that sharp, but again, you can sharpen that. You've got another screwdriver, but look, it's just, yeah, it says it's a screwdriver. It's a bit funny shape. I've never seen in any of the pocket knives or multi-tools to have it of a shape of like that. Anyway, you've got another screwdriver here, and then you get yourself a nail file. Pretty much standard with the nail files. I think the only one that we have, I think, is actually the Byberry one. Again, has a slightly better and finer file to file certain things. Because again, it depends what you're filing. As a lady, if I have a file, I would like to be able to file my nails, but I appreciate not everybody's using them for that. But nonetheless, that's that. This is literally very straightforward. So let's just get that folded in. Okay, again, press the button. Maybe just an act to it. I just need to kind of find my way to do it. But nonetheless, so there we are. This is very straightforward, very basic. 13 things in there. Happy days. So let's get that folded. And there we are. So guys, there we are. So what do we think for $4.99? To be fair, I really don't think it's that bad. It's a £5. What could you buy for £5 now? Again, see, the next available thing that I've got was the Berry, and this one was £25. Although this was 21-in-1 multi-tool. Yes, it has a fire starter, that kind of thing. If you want to just have a look at the review of this one, I put the link down in the description. Nonetheless, it looks a bit faster. Yeah, it looks a bit smarter, but it's 5 times the price. So technically, $4.99, you know, it doesn't really look or feel that bad. I understand that the quality of the metal, probably doubtful is the stainless steel, but it doesn't claim to be, so I don't know. So have to be cautious if you're using this so in the rainy weather, because potentially it could rust, but I could be wrong. I totally don't know. But okay, the point is, those things, it's not something that you buy for $4.99 and then run around in the forest trying to save the world and do the bushcraft. This is just not what this is for. This is just a very basic pocket tool. So if you are kitting out your car and you want to have very basics of screwdriver, a little knife, things like this, I think that thing is rather handy. So there we are. And they're currently available in Lidl, middle of Lidl, for $4.99. So if you are interested, then go and grab one. I don't think really there's a lot could be lost with that one. So there we are. So anyway, guys, I do hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.